Across a good portion of central eastern Indiana. You probably have heard the thunder. These are not severe right now. They have produced some severe gusts across parts of Huntington and Grant counties. But as you can see over my shoulder, our camera here on northern side of Marion County is showing quite a light show. So let's get right into it and we'll step you through this. Yeah, that's again northern side of Marion County. We've got our camera downtown as well. And where the Indians are trying to wrap up their game that they've had here this evening, and you can see the lightning. Here's the latest live Doppler 13 radar at this time. Storms moving through and coming in right on schedule. We talked about this last night on our live stream here that we would have storms around during this time. Very heavy rain and frequent lightning. Now I mentioned earlier this evening that storm that went through Grant and into Blackford counties. It did produce some downed trees, had some downed trees around Huntington County as well. So can't rule that out. Most of what we'll deal with will be localized if we get any more severe wind gust. And I do believe what's going to happen, there's a little piece of energy down here in southern Illinois. It may slow this band of storms down just a little bit. So we were bracketing 9 p.m. to about 2 in the morning for these storms, and I still think that's going to hold. Lafayette, anywhere north of this, Logansport, Rensselaer, you're done. Frankfort, you're done. Okay, so a few more hours of this action here across the metro. It's going to last a little bit longer on the eastern side of the state here. And let's show you live Doppler 13 radar with temperatures. And we went from near 90 over most locations. And now we're starting to cool it down here. And not only cool it down, but just up the road here across northern Illinois, that's much drier air that's going to be working through. And we'll be noticing that and talking about that tomorrow night. Here it is. I'll show you how this is going to work out. This future track 13. Still have that risk, can't rule it out, that we could have a localized severe gust. But a bulk of the action will be long gone when you wake up tomorrow morning. And then we're going to set the stage for some showers around. May not have nearly the sunshine we had today. One thing you'll notice about tomorrow is the wind shift. So we're going to cool things down and we're going to drop the muggy meter. But we're going to have to get through the bumpiness of the next several hours here across the metro area and on the eastern side of the state there, Scott. So it may keep some folks up. It may wake some up here before those alarm clocks go off here in the morning. But a minimal severe threat, but I think thunder and the downpours are going to be the main things with what we're seeing with this line here. Okay, we've got several hundred Facebook friends watching us right now, watching your live Doppler 13, including Marianne Barthy, who says loud thunder now here in Indianapolis. Yep. John says that he's enjoying the lightning and boom show in Clayton, Indiana. We've got Cheryl joining us from Peru tonight. Ralph is with us. Joyce wondering what the weather's going to be like in Versailles. And Jermont saying it's raining in downtown Indianapolis. Yeah. So Melissa also saying, hello, ready for some rain. Yeah, I mean, my wife texted me earlier, hey, when are these storms coming? I said, they should be here around 9 or 10. Because she wanted to know if she needed water. And I'm like, sure. If it doesn't happen, if it falls apart, I'll take care of it tomorrow. So hey, I'm thankful that we're getting some of this stuff here in downtown. Right. Much needed, by the way. You bet. Not every yard is going to get completely soaked out of this, but we will take whatever we can get. And I told you earlier, we need all this because the long range forecast is looking rather dry. Yeah, so, and we're already under a deficit, aren't we? Yeah, we're in a deficit for the month. Yeah. Some areas over the last 30 days are dealing with about 2 to 3 inches below average. Oh, so wow. Okay. We'll update that map tomorrow. But yeah, some areas tonight, though, Scott, could get a quick inch of rain easily. Right. With this line here that's moving through. But what we will detail coming up at 11, so we cool down tomorrow, that's going to be brief. Summer is hanging on big time here, and we'll time out our next batch of temps that will be in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. All right, Sean. 7-day. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a few minutes, my friend. We'll see you at the end of our Facebook Live. Do want to focus our attention now on our big story of the day, a tragedy over on the east side of Indianapolis. This horrible accident this afternoon after kids were let out of school.
And unfortunately, we've just learned that a child has now passed away as a result of being hit by this car today. 2 others in the hospital. Emily Longnecker joins us tonight. So, Emily, you were out at the scene today. Tell our Facebook friends what happened.
Yeah, just a terrible story, Scott. The child that passed away is a 7-year-old little girl, a student at IPS 57. And according to police, she and her mom and a crossing guard were crossing the street on Washington Street. School had just been let out. They were crossing the street when 2 cars collided at Washington and Ritter at that intersection there. And that collision, the force of that collision then moved into the crosswalk and hit all 3 of them. So we know that the little girl died later at Riley Hospital for Children. Her mother and that crossing guard were also taken to area hospitals where they are still in critical condition. Police talked about the number of people that were there on scene that called 911, that tried to help this child and help the 2 adults, saying that that was very admirable. We talked to a lot of people who live in that area, the Irvington area, about the way they say cars speed up and down Washington Street. Take a listen to what one woman told us.
They don't slow down. They don't slow down. And it's just a tragedy that something like this has to happen. And hopefully now that people will slow down and pay attention.
At this point, investigators can't say if speed was a factor or what even caused this collision. They say both drivers stayed on scene and cooperated, and they took both of those drivers to Eskenazi Hospital for a blood draw, which is standard procedure in a crash involving serious bodily injury. We know from a statement from IPS tonight that classes will be canceled at School 57 tomorrow, but they will have counselors on site for parents, staff, and students.
Yeah, what a tragic situation for the families who've lost that little girl and their loved ones in critical condition tonight. Emily, thank you for reporting on this very difficult story today. We'll see you on 13 News at 11 o'clock. All right, there's Emily Longnecker, part of our big story coverage tonight, this horrible accident over there on the east side, just outside of this School 57 at Washington and Ritter around 4 o'clock today. And again, a 7-year-old girl killed, 2 adults, including a crossing guard, and it appears as though the mother of the 7-year-old now in critical condition. So we'll update that story for you tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. And we're beginning to get lots of Facebook friends weighing in on this. Bunny saying, so sad, prayers. Renita, so sad, prayers for all involved. Angie again saying, so sad. Joyce, so sad about the accident, prayers for everyone in the families affected. Tina, just so sad. So many of our Facebook friends, their hearts are broken along with the rest of us after hearing this sad news today. Well, we lost a comedic giant today. Former SNL comedian Norm Mcdonald died today at the age of 61 after fighting a private battle with cancer for over 9 years. And Norm Mcdonald, if you were around watching Saturday Night Live back during the 90s, watched the David Letterman show, he was on that quite a bit. Very, very funny comedian, and I wanted to go ahead and play one of the clips that Norm Mcdonald is known for.
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Mr. Reynolds, what are you doing?
Yeah, I found this backstage. Oversized hat. It's funny.
No, it's not.
Sure it is. It's funny. It's funny because it's bigger than a normal hat.
It's June 7th, and I'm on the Tonight
Norm
Show.
Macdonald, so funny on Saturday Night Live. Of course, he did Weekend Update. Boy, he just nailed that Burt Reynolds impression, didn't he, Sean?
He's just a very unique comedian. I mean, just so quick and so just witty. Do yourself a favor and YouTube Norm Macdonald last Letterman show.
Right.
It's one of the greatest kind of paying homage to another great. And just, it's 9.5 minutes of pure brilliance.
Right. You know, Norm Mcdonald, you know, did the weekend update and, of course,
Yeah.
did these great impersonations of Burt Reynolds and Larry King. He did Bob Dole.
Yes.
Everybody remembers his Bob Dole impersonations. And many of those people weighing in tonight with their own fond comments of Norm Mcdonald tonight. Conan O'Brien saying Norm Mcdonald had the most unique comedic voice I have ever encountered, and he will never laugh that hard again. Jim Carrey calls him an honest and courageous comedy genius. Sarah Silverman says he was a one-of-a-kind on this planet. Senator Bob Dole called him a great talent, and Saturday Night Live tweeted out tonight, there are so many things we'll miss about Norm, from his unflinching integrity to his generosity to his consistent ability to surprise, but most of all, he was just plain funny. No one was funny like Norm. So Norm Mcdonald passing away today at the age of 61, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, the highest compliment you can have is when people in your field
Right.
basically see your brilliance, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what we've seen all day. You know, Adam Sandler talking about some of the hardest laughs he's had was from Norm Mcdonald. And there's another great clip too, if you YouTube Norm Mcdonald, Conan O'Brien. I think it's Norm Saves the Show.
Okay.
Just, again, 13 minutes of your time this evening is going to be well worth it.
Yeah.
Big time laughs.
Yeah. So many of our folks, you know, Karen Cartwright learning tonight, oh, wow, didn't know he passed. And then a lot of people wanting to talk weather tonight. Amber saying, love watching the storms. And let's see, Darnell Booker wants to know, hey, Sean, will the storms be around all evening?
A few more hours, and if we can, let's punch live Doppler 13 radar back up. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour gust. Goes until 10:30, includes Eaton and Ridgeville, Saratoga there. Heads up farmland and Winchester and near Muncie too. So this is part of the line that produced some wind damage earlier in Grant and Huntington counties. So it's moving that direction. As we get closer to the metro area, you know, I give it to at least, because I think what's going to happen, I think this line's going to slow down a little bit. What time we got? We were at 10, almost 10:30. So I think we probably should be in the clear in the metro area, roughly 1:32 a.m. Okay, so there's still going to be some boomers between now and then. And as I mentioned, the potential that some pockets of locally severe wind will be possible. So this won't be a whole overnight deal.
Right.
It'll be gone by the time you get up tomorrow morning. There are going to be some showers, I think, left over tomorrow morning for maybe some of the ride into work and bus stop. But once we get through the next few hours here, we settle it down.
Yeah.
And we turn up the heat for the weekend.
It is pouring in on the studio
Yep.
ceiling right now. And we've been hearing some thunder here in downtown Indianapolis at 10th and Meridian. So want to thank everybody for joining us here on Facebook Live. Sean will have a complete update on our current weather situation. More live Doppler 13 for you coming up tonight at 11. He'll look ahead over the next couple of days. That way you can make your plans. And we'll see you with our big story and more news coming up tonight on 13 News at 11. We'll see you then.